I don't know. I think that it'll probably come out at some point, but for now we can try it. But knowing me, it'll probably come out really quickly. But anyways, we're here with Kotis, the Fangkeeper, 4 mana 2/1, indestructible. When it deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library. X is the amount of damage dealt, so it starts off with 2, and then you can cast any number of spells, mana value X or less, without spending mana on them. So, like, kind of like Ragavan, except on steroids. Instead of getting a treasure token, you just get to cast the spells for free, but you have to ideally get this to hit harder than 2, right? Exiling the top 2 cards, and then only casting things up to 2 is not very exciting, especially by the time you've actually cast this and swung with it. So, a bunch of auras. People seem to like the mutate cards. They're just more auras, in my opinion, right? Just auras that stack with other things that care about. It's like the shrines, right? The more of the mutate thing you get, the exponential they get or whatever, but they're decent enough. I'm running a package of Emergent Ultimatum and Final Parting for like reanimate nonsense and whatnot. Probably works, but I can also see how maybe it does not work. Not too sure about it, but we can reasonably get to these cards and actually cast them. But if they're impeding my ability to just smack my opponent to death with this, then they'll probably come out. So for new cards, not too many exciting ones in the set, at least for this card specifically. So we have like Hollow Merc Siege. It has 2 options when it enters. I think Abzan is the ideal one, right? It gets a counter, so it makes our creature larger every time it attacks, and it's harder to block. And then there's this thing, which happens twice, right? It gets Vigilance and Trample, and makes it larger, and it can do it again. You don't really want to harmonize on or with the creature you're putting this on, because then it gets tapped. And I don't think this, this doesn't say untap the creature or anything, so that would, I'm actually kind of surprised it doesn't untap the creature you target. I feel like that would just be very fitting with a card like this, but is what it is. I guess the art says the big Loxodon in the background is, the one tapping itself, so the little dude's up front. So I guess it thematically makes sense. There's another Cultivate, but it's only forests, but who cares? It's a Cultivate. I did not realize this was in the game until just now, and well, there it is. There it is. Any haste effects? There is the Lava Spur Boots, and I'm sure there's a few other haste enablers in Sultai for like this specifically, but you gotta, I don't know, you'd probably want to play those haste enablers before you cast this, so it actually gets haste in the turn it entered. And if you're not casting this on curve to give it haste later, that doesn't make sense to me. So no, not really interested in giving this haste all the time. But Swiftfoot Boots does give haste, I guess, but more ideally hexproof. This is indestructible, so it only dies to the things that the last Voltron commander we played, the green-white one, the 3-mana 2/2 indestructible, dies to. This has 1 toughness, though, so there are some -1/-1 effects that will do this thing in. But I don't know, we'll see what happens. So we're going to craft these cards. We're going to hope for the best. I mean, the rest of the deck is just counter spells, the mana dorks, and a bunch of auras that you want to put on top of this. Nothing really super stand outish with all those, except maybe, again, the mutate cards. This is just a new one. It's like an anticipate stock up. Stock up is probably just better, but this is a new card, so I'm going to run that one. But we could probably put stock up in here as well. I think I just want to get the Triome again. I'm not really surveilling for anything super specific. What does that do? First main phase, mill 3, pay 1 life, get the card back. Alright. Yep. You can only get... You can only get... Alright, I see. Oh, I gotta be careful my basic forest count with this card specifically. That's funny. There are 5 lands in the graveyard. That's a weird one to take. Oh, there's a Chainer's Edict now, too. Because, you know, let's be real. Let's be real. Alright, I think we're still maybe okay. Is that... Am I allowed to say that? Is that accurate? Opponent gets reanimate, but there's nothing to reanimate. Oh, they can reanimate a Scholar, but then the Scholar doesn't actually do anything. They do want to take reanimate. I didn't mill anything, did I? No. So they can take Scholar and then, like, not cast anything? This was a lot of life, too. I can wash this away. It was cast out of the graveyard. That was interesting. I don't know if I... That was very strange. That's like a lot of life. It was just 7 life. I just sent. Well, this will be flipping into a lot of lands. Oh, they have Thought Distortion in their deck. One of those kinds of gamers. Alright, alright. Let's play this thing or this thing. Probably this thing, right? Because it's like power and whatnot. That's a card. I'm not opposed to that one, I don't think. We milled nothing that works. Tragic. This will shrink my creature down. Okay, so now they can actually block my creature because they blew up the thing there. Wait, they weren't dead, were they? They can block this. Let's make sure. My opponent can block it, right? Can't be blocked by more than one creature. So they can block with their 5/5. I'm not sure why they concede it. I wasn't drawing an out. I was going to draw 2 cards from this thing, though, I guess. At least their turn 1 isn't great. If they were on the draw, it would be a serious uphill battle. But they are on the play, which probably evens things out a little bit here. Oh, we've seen crazy games against this. Or, well, I should say, playing it. We want to play... We definitely just want to... Oh, wait. We don't want to do that. We do not want to do that. We want to play this. And we want to do that here. And we want to send it. Alright. Almost did weird stuff. Okay. See that card a lot. Kind of surprising. Shieldred is annoying for my opponent, but it's not that annoying. I feel as though Gem Razor is maybe gonna be pretty ideal here. So, do I brainstorm first? Yeah. Let's get rid of you and you. And then I play this. Blow up the mana rock. Okay, well, things are happening. I don't expect my opponent to get Tron, but I mean, it's a thing that could happen. They're rather close to it. But, I mean, they could just cast their commander next turn anyways. It does exile, right? Yeah, there's just exiles. Kinda sketchy. Alright, well, I didn't find anything. That's not good. I sort of found something. I can't cast that immediately, though. I'm going to put this here. This has Ward 1. Yeah, they're going to get Tron, though. I guess I should have blown this up. I just didn't have any respect for it. I can reanimate Shieldred, but I don't know if that matters. I might as well, though. Might as well, at this point. And there is no leaving up Mana Drain. Not that I think Mana Drain is that crucial here in this exact spot. It's kind of cool to see Tron in play. I've never seen Tron in play. They did not generate mana, which I kind of expected them to do. Alright, yeah. I mean, okay. I gave my opponent Tron, and it wasn't enough to do anything. Kind of crazy. I feel like their hand must have been like all mana, or lands? Like if you added 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6 mana. You could cast maybe 2 spells. Exile 2 4/4s. There'd be 5 power in play. Maybe they stabilize. Just kind of surprised I wasn't just like completely swept over. But I wasn't, yeah. Giving him Tron was... Well, there you go. There's Tron. I don't know. Kaya's ghost form just gives everything back too, which is nice. Oh look, it's a Ragavan game. It's gonna be fun. I guess I could keep Mana Drain on top, right? Because they're just gonna steal it, and then they can't cast it. And I guess I do this. It's just kind of like miserable, but no choice. Okay. Well, they have to block it, so... So they are getting rid of 2 cards here, but, do I cast this now? I feel like this is not a good idea to cast right now. I don't really know what I'm doing with more mana in play. I'd rather just not get hit by Regivan for no reason. Alright, so now we're probably just losing. Does this remove... No, that doesn't matter, right? I guess I just... No, I'm going to put this here. I'll put that there. Alright, well, eventually they'll run out of cards that are good. That'd be cool. Sure. Okay. Well, eventually they'll stop doing that. Okay. You got it. You got it. How do they flip this? 4 damage. So I have to do this. Should just play this? Deal damage to myself for no reason, like a talented person? And then, I mean, 1 or 3 is the same. I'm dead to any spell. 1 or 3 is the same. So, shrink this thing, play this thing here. Oh. Oh. Oh, we did it. Opponent was just windmilling slam mythics, man. It's just... We did it. We did it. Oh my goodness. This was the triple... Ragavan hit me 3 turns in a row. That's insane. Opponent gets rid of their haste enabler. Oh my goodness. That would be Sultai. I guess I'll brainstorm. I have a shuffle. Alright, we found some good cards. That's nice. Actually, we should get rid of the basics here, right? Yeah. And then I play this. Because I don't want to draw them. And then I'll get Breeding Pool. And probably name blue. Sure. This is a commander that... It's a 2/1 indestructible. When it hits your opponent, you steal that many cards off their deck, equal to the damage, and you can play that many cards equal to the damage. So this has flying, and now it has haste. I think I shall play this, and I shall pass. Because it's like the most non-obvious counterspell strategy thing. If I just play my Swiftfoot Boots, because it looks like it makes sense to play it here, sort of. Right? And I have Mana Drain. Although, does this count itself? Well, I guess it does, huh? I will Mana Drain literally any card you put on this deck. And I will put this... Ooh, do we want to shut down Wash Away? Ooh, probably not, right? I don't think so. I also don't really like trading damage here, but... Okay, of course it doesn't pay off. Yeah, this is probably Screaming Wash Away, but I really don't want to get hit for 8 damage. So, like, I'm gonna go ahead and wash that away. Alright, no land. Yep. I will get some lands with this card. Put this here. I suppose because I'm in the situation that I'm in, I will put it all here and send it. Rune of Might is good. Alright, come on. Let's actually steal something. Let's do it. Cool, we stole stuff, so we take that and that. Needle Flare... Oh, good thing I stacked it the way I did, because otherwise the Needle Flare would have dealt 2 damage to me. All of my opponent's cards have haste, though, and that is not going to change. That is not going to change. Let's do this. I suppose I'm just all in on playing my opponent's cards, so... I don't imagine my opponent will kill me, but we'll see. Haste plus this is a lot of just damage that I can just randomly get. Alright, yeah. I don't think my opponent's gonna... Oh wait, decline. Alright, yeah. We found a removal spell for their 3/3, although it does cost 3 life, so it's still worth it. Because it buffs other creatures by 2, so at the very least I'd take 2 less. I don't know what it's been with me lately. I don't know why I've been... What's up with me? I need a black source? I'm gonna get rid of that, yeah. Yeah, you're right. At least my opponent did think. You're right. You are actually right. I can't really deny that fact. My opponent did actually think. They did. They actually had to think about mana drain. This is valid. I am going to leave up Spell Pierce. Although it's a good chance I won't cast Spell Pierce for a while. It looks like there's a swords there. I don't really know what else it could be. I'm definitely gonna mana drain this. I mean, you know what I mean. All right. So I'm in a position where I do, at some point, beat Swords of Plowshares. So I'm gonna just play this. It is. I mean, they have to have it. I have to be right about that. Can't just make that up. That's a very oh no, never mind. There's an equipment. Makes more sense. Hair apparent. All right, now I'm just beside myself. That is kind of crazy. Yeah, that is probably losing on the spot. This swings as a 6/4 trample, and apparently I'm about to get 2 or maybe more hair apparents out of my opponent's deck right now with this Gem Razor. Some of the cards that we're running I'm not 100% in agreement with. It's probably why I got so close, because I think my setup had just better outs overall compared to what my opponent had in their deck. I think my setup was just a little bit ahead of theirs, like for what I was, for what was capable. I mean, like what could be capable. All right, that was a decision. Interesting. Opponent went ahead and put my Kami to the bottom. This is an Aura deck, so I think maybe they didn't want to go and do that outright, because I do have Auras. So that was very strange. I don't know. I don't get the idea. Alright, they're just done. Very confusing game. Fast game, but very confusing. Mystic Repeal Akami. Surely there's an achievement for that, right? Is there an achievement for that? I feel like there should be. Opponent Mystic repeals your Kami. It's just, the damage was already done with that one. Maybe they're just trying to complete a quest or something that involves casting green cards, but... Hateful Eidolon also hasn't done anything yet. The creature has to die, so in this matchup it doesn't really work too well, unfortunately. I think this is a turn 2 Brainstorm. Yeah, I'd say so. Alright, looks like it did pay off. So we're going to do that, we're going to do this. I could have shuffled away the Hateful Eidolon instead of another land. Not the biggest deal, but it's something to think about. Wow, a turn 2 card that was not... I'll play this so I don't take damage. Was not a mana rock. That's very, very rare. I don't know if you can afford to do that. That's kind of crazy. You definitely can't afford to pay 2 mana to draw cards, so I expect a bunch of scrying. I don't really have much going on, though. But that's okay. We have some pretty good top decks and whatnot. I mean, I could just play this. I don't know. Probably just going to cast Cultivate, I think. I don't know if playing this even... Alright, yeah, that worked out. Makes life slightly easier for me. Alright, they hit a card, so I don't steal it. That's funny. Let's play this. Alright, what do we got? Probably just a mana rock, I assume, out of a deck like this. Yep. Well, some pretty good mana rocks. Just don't really have a use for them, unfortunately. But it draws 2 cards. Ominous Traveler. Ominous Traveler. Uh-oh, is this my deck list, chat? Okay, nope. I don't think I had played him here. Well, yes I did. Did I? I don't know, someone in chat knows. Okay, so let's do this here. Offset the massive surge of mana my opponent almost had. Alright, yep. They've been really coming out of the woodworks. I am going to keep this and Cavern of Souls a bird. That's what we're going to do. Oh look, it's a mana rock on 2. Wow, it's almost like you have to do that every single game when you're a colorless deck. Is it worth it to ramp? No. I mean, excuse me, Brainstorm. I don't think so. So green, black, blue. So I can cast my commander. Oh look, it's more ramp! Wow, crazy. So Emrakul is not 7, it is 12. You can't discard it. Oh, if I could blow this up, I'd be so happy, but I cannot. We're gonna cast this. We're gonna put the... I don't know. This on that. Oh, maybe I should have just like not done that. I don't know. Too late. We're not paid to think. Echoes of Eternity. All right, you got it. Not sure what I'm brainstorming into, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Let's get rid of... So, that on top. And then get rid of it. Is there a double Eldrazi trigger like at this point that matters? Because I don't think there is. They can stop my commander from attacking. Okay, not anymore. They tap their thing. They could have done that. Not sure why we're paying life here. It wasn't lethal and now it's almost lethal. Seemed a little unnecessary. Okay, well, Emrakul next turn. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's Emrakul next turn. Paying at least 4 life. So 4, 5. I don't know if we got lethal here, but it's super close. Mazavith is pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, it stops them from getting hit from my commander. Right? And the math might math that that's a good idea. So I'm safe to put everything here. There's nothing they can do about it. I have Perilous Vault, but I'm trying to actually kill my opponent here, so I'm not gonna... I could Perilous Vault and maybe win after the fact. I suppose that is possible. But I think my opponent navigated this a little wrong with the paying life on that card and not Maze of It. So now it costs 4 life to cast Emrakul, which is not lethal, unfortunately. Can I punish them? So we'll get that. I can Meteor Golem the Arcane Signet, and I can get rid of... shoot. A creature? Because my opponent's gonna steal them all anyways? Blow up the doubler? What? Well, I gotta blow up the mana. The doubler isn't doing anything. I have to blow up the guarantee on the board way to cast Emrakul. Not the thing that doubles spells. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, I had to blow that up so they can't cast Emrakul. They can still cast it with the doubler, but appears to be not in the works. Me and my math. I mean, yeah, it was 11 versus 12. I'm pretty sure that was right, because otherwise they would have cast it, right? We would be facing down our own board and would have to Perilous Vault, which would reset the game, and we would probably win with that, because my opponent is at 4 lands. Which would be funny, but, yeah. And I believe they're still dead here. They can't tap the... They cannot tap these mana rocks. Yeah, the Maze of Ith, goofy as it is, like, I don't recommend playing it. All the value cute lands that colorless decks love are just sometimes... If it doesn't affect your bracket, then it doesn't matter. But if it does, like, it's not. You don't need to put this in your deck. But this is a spot where it would have been why you put it in your deck. I think my opponent probably would have done well to Maze of Ith me. Alright, so... Does this have evasion? No. Can I do... I can do 1, 2... I think they're just dead. Yeah, I don't have to put too much thought into this. I can just kill my opponent. Unless there's something weird. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that could happen here. Yeah, there's nothing they can do, right? Used to do all rare lands and colorless, but it screws up your brackets. Yeah, I mean, the card weight thing, I would imagine, is still a thing, because Wizards, I don't have... They said they're going to hide it and change it. I mean, maybe they did, but I still think that the card weight has to have some kind of play into it. I would be surprised if the entire basis of where your commander is placed is just the command zone, and no card in your deck has any basis on where you are. That would defeat the purpose of the bracket system that they just made. So I think cards are probably not weighted by a point, or like a 1 to 100 kind of thing, like they may have used to, and probably it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the brackets. And you don't want to slip up and put your Emrakul deck in a bracket 2 because you put Inventor's Fair in it when maybe you just could have gotten away. Oh, ooh, Inventor's Fair is actually really good, though, so I don't know. Maybe, one of the other ones, one of the other goofy ones that's just a rare. But who knows? Who knows? I just wouldn't advise it. Just play 30 wastes. Be done with it. Be done with it. Oh, alchemy cards too. Yeah, that's true, because those don't have a paper equivalent. They do nerf cards in Historic, so like Nadu can just be nerfed so it isn't like bracket 0. It can just be like nerfed, so it's like a reasonable card. But who knows? Anyways, this commander was very good. I was surprised. I shouldn't say it's amazing, like it didn't blow my mind, but it felt really scary. Because of that, it probably makes sense to run even more really cheap interaction that is like pseudo defensive spells. When I was in the mirror, they had like the phase out for 1 mana card. They probably had miscast in there. We saw miscast at some point along our journey here. So that could work. But when it came to just playing this and then putting auras on it, that was fine. You know, it was great. The giant spell emergent ultimatum combo thing just never came up. I wouldn't say it's useless, but I just never drew it. I didn't have a lot of card draw in my deck, and not really that many tutors. Really, there might not be any. I put assembled a team in here at some point, but that was after I took that stuff out. So it was hard to ever get to the emergent ultimatum. I probably wanted to be more in on the tutors to really get that to be a threatening thing that I could just randomly pull out of my deck, but it just didn't happen. I do like the 4/5 with this card. It's hard to find anything that gives your commander more than this in stats the turn after you play it, right? Just instantly a 6/6 instead of like a little 2/1 is. It's hard to beat that. And this is recurring. So this card is just like really good. I'm glad I own it, because I probably wouldn't have crafted it for this deck, but bumping into it, this is, if you're going to play a mutate card, this is the mutate card to play. This is the one to be. That's the one to be. These 1-mana artifacts that give 2 in stats, I know Bone Splitter looks goofy, but it is good, right? Not just Nadu can play Bone Splitter, we can also play it. This is probably okay. In fact, we can probably put Bone Splitter. We can probably put Nadu in this deck. It does probably do something, right? I've never actually thought about playing Nadu outside of the command zone. If putting Nadu in your deck destroys your bracket, then don't do that. But it is nerfed to the ground and works with the cards in here. So why not? You probably just replace this card. This is like Nadu, except your opponent has to trigger it instead of you. Obviously, you triggering it is way better. There's also a 1-mana card that's kind of similar to this. I can't remember the name. It's like 1-mana enchantment, and then whenever something you control gets targeted, you draw. And what else does it do? I think whenever you target your own stuff, you scry 1. Or that might be the 2-mana green enchantment or something like that. But yeah, this is a cool commander. I'd say that. Very honest commander. It's hard to go crazy as this commander, but it's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do to make this even faster. Because it costs 4 mana, that's the most annoying part of this commander is the fact that it costs 4, not 3. That's quite significant. If this was 3, it would probably be very, very good, and it costs 2, so it's just pretty good, right? If you could play this on turn 2 consistently, which you would want to do, so you would probably be blitzing for one of the 1-mana rent spells basically every game, and then just sending it. But it costs 4. That does kind of tone it down quite a bit. You can't even really mana drain into it, scarily. Mana drain, unfortunately, doesn't exploit your deck too well, right? In this deck, which is what it is, right? I mean, maybe that's for the better, and you're just not winning the game when you cast mana drain all the time, but something to think about, right? I mean, you could just skip over your commander and do something else, but for the most part, it's not really what you aim to do. Especially without the emergent ultimatum nonsense in here. No Gristlebrand and all that. You could probably run 1 or 2 delve cards, like Treasure Cruise, so I could maybe gas back up in certain matchups and whatnot. But for the most part, you are in all-in strategy. And exile effects are annoying. There was a lot of bounce spells we saw today. So like quite a few bounce spells, which is really unfortunate. It was like Otawara. It was Otawara from the player who just emote spammed after they Otawara'd me. I don't know why they got like super excited. I don't know. They kept saying oops. But so Otawara actually happened. You don't normally see that one. Oh, also that artifact that's a springleaf drum, but it has a channel that you can bounce it. It's a blue springleaf drum. That one happened. We got desparked 3 times in the same game. So despark, 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 and still had it in play for the 4th time, but just didn't quite get there. So hexproof is definitely something to consider, and I would try to put as much of that in your deck as you can. And yeah, I mean, it's cool to play a Sultai Voltron list. I know it just went through the Voltron ringer, and one just came out, and here it is doing its thing. Hateful Eidolon did not really ever work. Your commander essentially has to die for this to do anything, and most of the time it's not going to die. It's just going to get exiled or bounced. So this is probably not a good idea. There are some games where you do put your stuff on a different creature. We did do that a couple times. I just don't think that's too consistent. This just shouldn't be in here. It shouldn't be in here just because this is indestructible. Edicts never came up. I don't think we ever got Shieldred's Edict. We almost got Chainer's Edict, but that didn't happen too much. And this thing, it is a new card. I just think there's cheaper versions of this card, and just basically anything else is better. Anything else is better than that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I can recommend this one. It's pretty cool. It does play differently from other Voltron strategies, especially the white ones that have all the white auras, like the crazy white, all that glitters and whatnot. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.